Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do the Toriko cross One Piece cross Dragon Ball Z Super, and emphasis on the Super, collaboration special. Now, of course, you guys can look down in the description below for the link to the episode itself, the special. And, of course, before I get started, no Japanese company, network, or corporation has any claim to this video. This video follows the rules and regulations that are set by YouTube/Google. The thumbnail is an original photo which belongs to none of these companies, to none of you guys. The visuals are me. They do not own me. That shit ended. And the audio is a soundtrack with me speaking over that soundtrack. They do not own my voice. This video follows the rules and regulations provided and set by Google/YouTube. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my overall thoughts on the actual episode itself. And then I'm going to give my individual thoughts about part 1 and part 2. Part 1 being the Budokai race. I've got the exact Japanese term for that, but it's in clear commemoration of the Dragon Ball Z series. And then part 2 is more focused on like teamwork and unity between the three series, and how they face off against a Toriko-based creature known as the Akami. And the Akami, so like we'll get to it when we get to it. So my overall thoughts, and like there's gonna be no summary because this was like 40 some odd minutes. So you guys know me, alright? You guys know me. If we're gonna do a review and do a summary, that's something, that's over 40 some odd minutes. We're gonna be here for a long time. So we're gonna cut it short, and I'm gonna give my overall thoughts, and then we'll go part 1, part 2. So overall, animation. That's the first thing. Animation. Alright, animation. There was only like one thing, animation-wise, that I didn't like. But aside from that, one thing which I'll get into later. The world was beautiful. Like, when I said the world, like the actual setting, which took place on this island. And this island was very, like, it looked very beautiful. Like, the scenery was very beautiful. And, like, I noticed, like, how like, there was a really big, huge fucking mountain in the middle of the island, and then we have one side forest, another side desert, and like the scenery was again very nice. The creatures were all Toriko based. Like we're talking like capture levels. That one monkey, the Mumushishi. Some of that, like the Mumushishi, like whatever it's called. Of course, the Akami, that one creature at the beginning of the episode where it's like a giant underground sand centipede. So the creature designs were actually very Toriko structured. Now, what I did like in this episode was that they took the contrasting animation styles of Toriko, One Piece, and Dragon Ball Z. Mainly Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z has from as far as I can remember, the style of animation does contrast between Toriko and One Piece, but in this actual special, they're able to take the three styles and meld them fairly well, fairly well, and I did like that a lot. So on top of the world building, the animation overall, I liked it a lot. I thought it was good animation, especially the entire how they took the contrast of the three series together and they melded it fairly well. And when it came to the fight animation overall, the fight animation that was also good. Mainly, oh man, the last fight when we see Goku, Toriko, and Luffy go off against the Akami, that was on point animation for a majority of that fight. 90% of that fight, the animation was on point, very well done. So overall animation, I'm gonna give it a good. That's number 1. Now number 2, a few things that I did notice overall. What I did notice that that I found very strange was that when the race started, we see that the Toriko and the One Piece verse, like they know each other. Like Luffy's like, "Yo, Toriko, it's been a while." Like even when it started off, Sanji was like, "Rin, like it's been a while. Like how you doing?" Like yeah. But they had no idea who Goku was, and that caught me off guard. And the reason why is very simple. There was the first Like, the first crossover that I ever read was a Dragon Ball Z One Piece crossover. At least as far as I remember. And that was in a manga. Like, that wasn't anime, but that was in a manga. However, this crossover, the Toriko One Piece Dragon Ball Z Super Collaboration Special, that's solely anime. So, but I was thrown off because I'm like, you should be more acquainted with Goku as opposed to Toriko. But when you consider only anime spec, then yeah, Toriko and Luffy, they're way more acquainted. Because they had 2 collaborations. They had 2, not 1, but 2. So, I mean, in the manga scheme, there was only 1. But in the anime, there was 2. Pre-time skip One Piece, and then post-time skip One Piece. And then Toriko, I believe he was the same. Yeah, like, kind of the same. So, like, it did kind of throw me off. How, like, you know, like, Goku, like, he was just running, and, like, when he was jumping up the mountain, and then Luffy and Goku, and Luffy and Toriko, like, they were chasing Goku, and then they catch up to Goku, and then he warps away to go see King Kai to save the universe, like, for, like, a quick second. They're, like, they're like, where'd he go? And then Luffy's like, who is this guy? So, that was, it threw me off, but still, like, I'll take it. It's not a big deal at all. In fact, it was kind of cool. It really was. Because, particularly in the one scene where we see, like, a miniature fight scene between Vegeta, Zebra, and Zoro. And it was like Vegeta came down there. Because like, it was funny. This is one particular thing I'm talking about now. So, basically, like, that's one thing I noticed that, you know, like, yeah, basically, when it came to the verses, the Toriko and One Piece verse, they knew each other. But the Dragon Ball Z verse was like an unknown. And until, like, they actually started competing against each other. Now, on to funny moments. Because that's one thing that I, you know, really, it was funny. Like, this was funny. This was a funny special. It really was. And I think, in my opinion, the funny scene, well, though, there were 2 particular funny scenes. But this one, I think, was the funniest. Where it was like Zoro's lost. Zoro's lost, right? And then he goes, you know, he's Zoro. He's a fool. And then he turns around. Here's Zebra. Zebra's coming out. He uses sound to, he created his sound image. And then he's, you know, talking shit to Zoro. Zoro's like, motherfucker. He's like, taking out his sword and shit. And here comes Zebra walking down. All of a sudden, Vegeta comes flying in. It's like, no one's talking about this race. Where the hell's Kakarot? And he comes flying down, and he's in between Zebra, and he's so small. He's in between Zebra and Zoro. And then Zoro, the first thing he says is like, who are you, motherfucker? I'm like, yeah. Like, that was hilarious. I was dying for the longest, man. Funny. Absolutely balls out funny. I was dying, man. It was like when Vegeta came down, so I was like, who are you, motherfucker? I'm like, yeah. That was funny. That was absolutely funny. That's number 1. Number 2 was the one scene with Frankie and Frankie Shogun, and then it was Gotenks, alright? And it was like Gotenks did their fusion to face off against the Akemi, and then, like, this thing is taking out mad people. It already took out Coco and Brook. And then it's like Frankie's and Frankie Shogun, but he's not getting touched because he's in the Frankie Shogun robot. And then he rips off all tentacles, and then he's like, you know, his eyes are twinkling. He's like, no, I'm gonna take you right now. And Gotenks like, oh, he's like, yeah, oh. And then he gets out for the radical beam, stuck. He just collapses, man. He just collapses. Like, it was a fool scene. Like, it was fool, but it was funny. It was absolutely funny. It was hilarious, and that's one thing that I really liked. All right, it was hilarious, hilarious. So, that's number. So that's comedy wise. It was funny. Now when it comes to the fights, like, I want to get more into detail about this later. But basically, in my personal opinion, the fight of the 3-way, Goku versus Luffy versus Toriko, was not as good as them collaborating against the Akemi. In my opinion, the last fight was fucking, like, it was good. It was damn good. It was damn good. It was like, whoa. Like, they put a lot of effort into that fight. A lot of effort. Because, like, the animation was on point. Like, in particular, the one scene where, like, Goku, like, he gets knocked back by the Akemi, comes back with, like, a flurry of punches, and Toriko does a, you know, I believe it was a 30-ren Kugi punch, and then Luffy does his elephant gun, and then there was so much hype on that elephant gun. Mad hype. Even in the final scene, I'm mad hype in that. Man, there was so much hype. So much hype. Like, it was very well animated. And, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, again, technically, there's only 3 fights. There's like a rewinded scene of Zoro versus Vegeta versus Zebra, Sound Bazooka, Sanjuro Pound Ho. You know, I believe it's 108 Pound Phoenix, and you know, Gallic Ho. You know, Gallic Ho. You know that right there. So, and then after that, there was the main. There was the first of the main fights: Goku versus Toriko versus Luffy, which was okay, but not even close as good, not even near the level as the last fight. The last fight was fucking outstanding. So fights overall, I thought they were so excluding the Zoro, Vegeta, and Zebra fight, we have one fight that's okay, which is the first one. The second one is great, in my opinion. Like, it was, you know, well, good plus for what it was. So overall fights, I'll give okay plus. And from an overall standpoint, I really enjoyed the episode. Like, I did. Like, the special I thought was good. Like, it was enjoyable. It was funny. The fights were, like, the last fight got me so fucking pumped. I was like, oh my god, this is damn good. You know, like, it was just enjoyable to see what the animators did. In this, I fairly enjoyed it. I did. Like, truly, like, true shit. And I'll be honest with you. At first, I thought that, you know, they were gonna fuck up a lot of shit, but they really didn't. Because, you know, people, I'm pretty sure a lot of motherfuckers were complaining, oh my god, bitch, it's fucking Goku, man. It's fucking Goku, man. It's fucking Goku, man. But I'm like, yeah, listen, man. I mean, Goku did a Kamehameha, alright? He did, and he was in Super Saiyan, not a big fucking deal. He didn't fight against Luffy. I mean, Luffy was already in Gear 2nd, okay? I mean, granted, they did miss a few things. That's one thing that I did say. They did miss a few things, or there were things that were ostracized in this episode. Like, for example, right? This is Toriko before the Shokuren Temple. So he's not rocking like 50 ren. No. He's only like, his max ren in this episode was like 36. Yeah, 36. Yeah, because he had the single 18 ren, and then he had the dual 36 ren. So it wasn't Toriko at full power scheme. In this episode, Luffy never used Haoshoku no Haki or Kambosha no Haki or Red Hawk. You know, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, Luffy from a power scheme standpoint, he's lacking in the sense that from a power scheme standpoint, he's lacking in the sense that we don't know enough at all about Luffy. Like, he hasn't gone all out once, and it's been like it's been like a year. No, 2.5, a year and a half since the actual time skip occurred. So it's like, well, from an anime standpoint, I believe. I think so, yeah. Or no, you get my point. And then Goku, like, we all know Goku's power scheme, but the thing about this was that the Akemi, it like ate energy. So in a way, it did like nerf out a lot of the power. You feel me? Like, because it ate direct energy, and that's why it had to wrap its tentacles around all the characters to absorb it. And then, I mean, like, there was another fight with like a small little fight where it was basically, it was like Sanji, Piccolo, and Sunny. And then they took out the Akemi before it transforms. And then that was pretty cool too, but not really that that noteworthy. It was basically Fry Gunchi Reflection, and then it was Polar Free Spectra from Sanji, and then Piccolo does like a Ki Blast, but it wasn't really, it was a Ki Blast, like that was it. Gotenks does his Super Ghost Kamikaze attack, whatever. Again, and Coco does his poison cannon, poison sword to save Brook, then poison cannon, but the Akemi dodged that. So so overall, the fights were okay. They were okay plus fights, and enjoyable nonetheless. Just like, I enjoyed it, I really did. I liked it a lot. So the rating for the episode special overall is going to be a good. It's going to be a good. And in actuality, I don't think I need to talk about the parts by themselves. I mean, the parts are very simple. I mean, like, we all know how it started. Like, it started very, like, so part one, in a nutshell, like, Hercule won the actual tournament. And Hercule actually won, like, the grand prize. This meat from this cow that apparently only eats delicious food constantly. And so, like, this meat is, like, you know, super delicious in pure Toriko fashion. But, Hercule won it based on some luck shit where, like, the last scene in that part 1 fight was Goku doing his Kamehameha, and then Toriko doing his 18 Rankugi punch, and Luffy doing a one-handed Elephant Gatling. And then they, like, cross-counter, explosion, shockwave, boom, and then the stadium is, like, rocked, and then there's a, you know, shockwave, and yada, yada, yada. But that was cool. Oh, yeah, and, with the thing about part 1, is that, you know, seeing the individual parties go and do their thing, seeing, like, there was no cooking match between Komatsu and Sanji, but, like, we saw them, well, actually, no, we didn't see them cook, but they made food for this monkey in order, you know, get past it. And, bake, you know, because on Setsuno's orders. Because it's fucking Setsuno. Like, if you read Toriko, you know what Setsuno is all about. You fucking know. You don't want to fuck with this granny. Oh, no, sir. No, the fuck you don't. Oh, she would fuck up so many people. It's not funny. And then going to the other side where we see a scene here with, like one comedic scene with, like, Master Roshi and Brook in comparison to Rin and Nami, where Nami's trying to go help out Master Roshi, Rin's gonna go help out Brook, and, you know, pervy scene. And then on top of that, it was the whole entire cyborg thing with Frankie and Android 18, and it's like, you know, where Cyborgs is that fucking awesome, she's like, leave me the hell alone. So, like, again, like, good comedic scenes in that part 1. But what I do want to point out is that animation wise, like, because the race itself was in commemoration for the Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, the stage, like the actual stadium itself, had solely, like, Dragon Ball Z characters in there, with the exception of the main cast from Toriko and One Piece. Like, the people, they were drawn in typical Dragon Ball Z fashion. And you can tell because the females, for some reason, their eyelashes are on, like, their sides. It's weird, but whatever. It's not as weird as like One Piece females, or like One Piece chicks. Their hips are, like, crushed in. It's like, holy shit! Like, how do you breathe? But you know, like, so that was pretty cool though. That was cool. And again, Hercule in the fight was to be expected, to be honest. I mean, because, you know, Hercule was in the battle on some whim. Like, he wound up getting sucked in there because of the shaking of the stadium when they were sitting up for the actual fight itself. Because of Mansum does his thing with the actual stadium, and then Hercule got sucked in there. So, like, the moment he got sucked in there, like, you knew that it was going to be a 3-8 tie against Toriko, Goku, and Luffy, and then Hercule was going to win it. Obviously. Now, so that's part 1 overall, and then part 2 overall. Basically, they eat the meat together because Hercule shares it. And then we have Robin, Coco, and Piccolo. Those 3 being the more intelligent, like, you know, like, being the more intelligent of the main cast of each of the verses. And then they're like, yo, Mansum, what are you planning? Like, what are you planning, bro? He's like, yeah, like, you guys caught on. It's the alchemy. And then the alchemy comes out there. Toriko explains how it can absorb energy by using its tentacles and by eating energy directly, and how its stomach is as quote-unquote as deep as the ocean, and it commences to take out Gohan, Usopp, and Hercule quick. Oh, Gohan got done and dirty. I mean, Gohan got done and dirty during the Buu Saga, but now he got done and dirty in a special. And if you look at the actual, you know, the footage from the actual Battle of the Gods film, Bills does Gohan dirty. It's like, Gohan is always getting done dirty. It's like, fuck this kid. Always getting done dirty. And then, you know, there's a little fight scene with Sunny, Sanji, Piccolo. I already mentioned that already. So, you know, like, fight scene. And, like, there was one scene with Frankie and Gotenks and Coco and Brook. And then, like, the main fight itself. The main fight itself, if I were to go by play action, alright? Play action basically starts off Goku, Toriko, and, well, Toriko meets it first. Toriko's about to attack it. Luffy goes in there for a jet pistol, and then Goku warps in there via instant transmission. Now, what I will say is that The island was pretty damn fucking big. It was huge island, massive. But you know, like Goku was using instant transmission a lot in this episode. He used it at least 3 times. So he comes in there and then goes Super Saiyan off the gate. Then they assault the Akemi, and then you know Goku does like the actual main flurry of punches, while Toriko and Luffy they take out tentacles. Goku at some point gets knocked back, but then he bounces off an actual like mountain, then comes back, punch. The Akemi jumps in the air. Goku's already in the sky, Kamehameha, and then he does Kamehameha, and then Toriko's there in the bottom. The Kamehameha blasts Akemi down. Fucking Kugi Ren 30, cock back, bam, boom. It gets blasted, and Luffy again, mad hype on this elephant gun. Luffy comes in there, elephant gun, and it rocks the shit out of the Akemi. I mean, like, it was just hype. You yell, it gets blasted through like a mountain, and then after that, like, it winds up in a ravine, but then it ropes behind them, and apparently it already transformed, and it transformed again solely to evolve to anticipate the techniques of these 3 fighters. And because that's what some creatures in Toriko do. Like, they evolve very rapidly to adapt to the situation at hand. And then it takes on, so basically, like, it ambushes Goku, Toriko, and Luffy, hits him to the side. And then what's happening after that is that, you know, Toriko gets assaulted directly. And then Luffy steps in there, helps out Toriko. And then as Luffy's talking to Toriko, Goku's taking on the creature by itself. And Toriko is explaining the whole entire evolution concept. Because again, the Akemi is a Toriko-based creature. Then Goku comes in there and is like, yo, I need help. I need a spirit bomb, you know, Genki Dama. And listen, man, I'm not a fan. I do not like the fucking Genki Dama. I don't like the spirit bomb. I think it sucks. Give me rich. I fucking hate that thing. I don't like it. I don't care what anyone says. I don't fucking like it. I just don't. I don't like it. I think it's lame. I think it's gay how you always need someone to back you up. You always need somebody there to help save your ass. Otherwise, you can't make the Genki Dama. So Luffy and Toriko are there. They're facing off against the Akemi solo, no, as a duo. And then, you know, it's able to actually get the best of them. Then here comes Goku, Genki Dama. It throws it after gaining energy of all the main cast. But it actually like takes like a chunk of the, you know, like it actually bites down on the Genki Dama and is about to actually consume it, the entire thing. But what winds up happening in a very nice, a very, very, very well animated scene where Luffy and Toriko do like a crazy sandwich where before this thing eats the Genki Dama, the spirit bomb, Luffy does a dual hand elephant gatling. Now I was hoping for like a red hawk or something, but no, whatever. He does a dual hand elephant gatling. And then Toriko does a 36 Ren Kugi punch. His max at that time. And then Goku comes in there in Super Saiyan 3. And he's like, oh, man. And so he's talking that Kamehameha. And then so like as this ridiculous sandwich of just muscle and arm and hockey and all this crazy shit is going on. And this thing is getting rocked. Goku does a Kamehameha. And then the force of the Kamehameha shoves the spirit bomb down its throat. And then the energy expands within itself, and then it spits it all out, and then it dies. So that's what happens. And the ending was actually very nice. And like there's one last scene where everyone's eating, everyone's enjoying themselves, and apparently Zebra, Vegeta, and Zoro are still going at it. So like again, like it was nice. It was very nice. I liked it. Now, people are going to complain. I know for a fact that there's going to be people down there that are going to complain. Dude, man, it's Goku, man. Goku Solo's versus, man. He's a galaxy burster, which he's not. But the thing about it is that it's like, listen, man. It's a special. It's a special, and these are verses that I have different universe. You know, these are verses that are completely apart from one another. And just think about this, right? The way people from the West see things are different as opposed from the way people in the East see things. All right, they're more about you know. Whereas we here are more about the individual. Over there, they're more about the group and working as a team and you know being a unit. And you know that's the way it is. And so you can see that being portrayed in almost every Japanese, you know, like Nakama and yada 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 and so on and so forth. Whereas here it's not. Like it's me, only me, for myself. It's me, myself, and I, pretty much. We have that saying. Me, myself, and I. So but I mean I liked it. Alright? I mean if you think that Luffy's over Goku and Toriko, that's you. If you feel that Toriko's over Goku and Luffy, that's you. If you feel that Goku's over Toriko and Luffy, that's you. Okay, fine, fair enough. But that's not gonna happen. Like there was not gonna be a definitive winner in their fight in the first round. Fuck no. There's no way. There's no way. Because that would have caused so much controversy within the Japanese anime, you know, fandom itself. No way. They wouldn't even risk it. No way, man. I mean, that's why there's a video game for that, where you can actually choose your own winner, including Naruto. So yeah, but overall, I'll give it a good, because I liked it. I really did. I thought it was very well done, very well animated, fun, enjoyable, and we're not expecting any type of, you know, character building, because, you know, I mean, Toriko is still going on, and One Piece is still going on. Dragon Ball is already over. I mean, I know that the Battle of the Gods movies are gonna come. Yeah, Battle of the Gods, meaning that there's gonna be multiple of these things. They're apparently canon material, apparently, but I mean, it depends. I mean, movies in general can be canon or not, depending on what you consider canon or not. But whatever. Alright, that's a whole nother story. Overall, this episode is going to be good. And once again, look down in the description below. Look down in the description below for the actual link to the episode itself, where you can view, where you can view for yourself. And I'm signing out. Be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice day. Yep. Kamehameha Twin Ren Kyugi Elephant Gun. That's right. Have a nice day.